Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Vindy Gaming, and we're here today playing some Farming Simulator. We're not going to do the tutorial, to me it's a waste of time. Let me go into the settings real quick and make sure we have everything set up. We're going to rename that right away. We're going to name this just what it is. If I can type right. Alright, take it down to 1 scale. Times 1, traffic normal, dirt normal, turn off automatic brake. We're going to turn off plant withering. The only reason why is because if we get too far in here, it's going to go off. We're going to turn all these off because we want to control how our money is spent. Standard fuel usage. Yep, that's good there. We're going to turn that radio all the way off. Dollar mile. Okay. Alright, we're going to save it real quick now that we get all our settings set up. And welcome to the game. So we're going to be doing this in a realistic simulator, which means I'm going to do everything I can to avoid teleporting, and unless it's nighttime or something like that, we will be on the ×1 time scale. So we're going to go ahead and start off. We're going to climb up into the case. Go ahead, turn him on, get into first person view, because we will be doing as much as we can from first person view. Open up the roof, and we will start. Now I will still be using workers. I don't see a reason not to use workers. So especially for right now, we're just going to go ahead and get him set off on a worker, and we're going to run over to the other side because we really need to get our stuff set up and going right. We're always open to suggestions here, so let's see what we can do to make this a nice, successful farm. So we got this guy right here. We have our New Holland, and this is one of their older New Hollands, but they gave it to us to start with. Again, we need to go into first person, get him started up and going. I do have some mods enabled. All the mods I have enabled are from Giant Software. Most of them are basic vehicles and things like that. I think I got the Fendt harvester set in here and stuff like that. And then I also have the GPS mod. That mod is fantastic, and I believe, I want to say it's made by Upside Down. I will double check that and make sure I give credit where credit is due, and that will be in the descriptions. And if I was wrong by that, I'll probably also put like a note on the screen so that you guys know who it is by. There's plenty of places that you can go to get it from. Oh, I missed a spot. Awesome. Now my frame rate's kind of lower. You probably see it up in the top left-hand corner. The reason my frame rate's so low right now and the graphics don't look that great is because I'm playing on about a 5 or 6 year old laptop. I'm in the process of getting a new desktop, getting a new laptop, but I did get a new capture card, and we're seeing how it goes. So my graphics will be improving drastically, probably over the next month. Another thing to note with that is I travel a lot, so I will be getting a new gaming laptop, and I'm probably going to be building a new desktop. So in the future, if you guys start seeing differences between videos, even if they're in the same series, I will always keep them separate. So if it's Farming Simulator, we might be on Goldcrest Valley on the laptop and a mod map, providing everything's good to go and I have the right permissions on my desktop. That way we can keep everything nice and consistent through each other. Yeah, cultivating, it's not that bad. I'm going to go ahead and kind of split this into a few rows. Hopefully I can keep my rows somewhat neat. Turn that on. I did note earlier I do have the GPS mod, but unless it's a newer tractor that has GPS, either I can see a GPS on the top of it or it has the digital display screens. I would assume those have GPS. In the real world, most of them do. I won't use it. That's the only time I'll be using GPS, is if it's something that would actually have GPS in the real world. And it is quite common to find on farms, especially nowadays with everyone worried about plant, growth yields and things like that, trying to get the most money for most bang for their buck, so they use it. It is something that is not unrealistic in any way, shape, or form. But as I said, we will have no teleporting in this. About the only time I can think of that is if something weird happens and I have to reset the equipment. But I'm not going to sit here and make you guys watch this entire cultivating section. I know some of you guys like to. I like watching it sometimes. There's guys out there that I absolutely love watching their YouTube channels every day. So we'll see. But we do have the harvester over there. He's going to town. I'm sure he's about to get full here soon. And when he gets full, we'll hop off this tractor and we'll go grab the bucket, or grab the tipper rather. And I think it's a case 1455 that's connected to that. It's whatever the starting equipment is. I tend to go through the starting equipment pretty quickly for a little bit. I don't have the repair mod that's out there. So I'm not going to be using any of that, so it is going to behoove us to get new equipment. If it's something that we're going to use a lot of, or more than once in a great while, then I will buy it. If it's something where I'm only going to use it like once, like maybe a beet harvester or a potato harvester, because all I'm trying to do is get enough stuff for the animals, then I will probably lease those. I might lease something and then buy it later as well. It's all about how much money we have and how well we're doing. How much have I missed there? I missed a little bit. This is going to be the fun part, is trying to do all this and then come back and get it all set up again. Now we're going to have some pretty terrible yields on this. But that's to be expected. It's the first harvest. It's really supposed to be there just to get your feet wet and learn how to harvest and do everything. So we'll see. I do overlap a little bit, and I intentionally do that just to help ensure that I get everything as I'm going from path to path. And I know I'm already messing that up, so this is going to be a pretty terrible cultivation. I know if I was a farmer and I had a worker doing it like this, I would probably fire him on the spot. Well, I guess I wouldn't fire him on the spot, but he'd get a good talking to. And then we'll go from there. So we'll get we'll get that field harvested, get this field cultivated, and I believe field 12 is ready for planting. I'll probably do a little bit of that and then put him off on a worker so that we can get everything else done. I do have periodic plowing turned on, I believe. I'll double check that here in a second. In fact, let me just do that right now. Make sure periodic plowing is turned on. Yes, periodic plowing's on, and we have 3 fertilizers growth stage. Now, if you come into your vehicle overview, as you can see, some of these cost us a lot of money a day. So that one case 1455, that one's probably gonna have to go fairly quickly. Either that, or we'll just keep it, drive it into the dirt, and then as soon as I can get another tractor to replace it, I will replace it, because right now, it's a small farm. Every penny really does matter, and I'm going to do everything I can not to take loans out. But that said, loans can be a good thing. Loans allow you to really expand, and when you look at some of the prices on here, and we'll do that for just a second, not so much in tractors. Tractors are expensive, but you can buy one and have a pretty decent yield. Just a basic harvester, and I think this is the one we have. To buy it's 145 grand. Well, to move up to the next level, you're already into the $200,000 for one harvester, and that's not the header or anything else. So loans aren't really a bad thing to do, especially if it's something, it's what you do in the real world. You take out a loan, but you gotta make sure you pay it back, and then obviously with every harvest, whatever income you got from the harvest, I would personally set X amount of that aside just to pay that loan off a little bit faster. So we're going to be playing it somewhat careful with the money, but at the same time we're going to be doing what we can to get some equipment out, not necessarily by leasing, because it's really not cost effective to constantly be leasing equipment. It's not something that you necessarily want to do. In the real world, you do it occasionally, especially if it's something you're only going to need once in a great while, like once every 5 or 10 years. There's no point. But if it's something you're using day in, day out, you'd probably buy it. Now that said, leasing in the real world does have other advantages. As long as I keep the right number of hours on the equipment, as long as I operate it at the same point in 3 years or 5 years or whatever my term's set up, I take it back to them, I give it into them, and then I get something new and pretty much keep going. But because of how this game does leasing, we're just going to do what we can to not do it. So we shall see how this goes. Not too sure how much I have. I can tell you right now, these are horribly unstraight paths. I'm an absolutely atrocious driver, apparently. I am using the Satec side panel, and I'm using the Satec steering wheel. I did get both. I do have both of them. I do like the steering wheel for Farming Simulator. It does respond pretty well. I mean, now that said, if you have like a Logitech steering wheel or something like that, you're probably going to use that. But for what it is, it's really not bad. I do play American Truck Simulator, and I can use the steering wheel in that. So I mean, it works for what it is. It's just you have to remember it doesn't have the same feeling that Logitech, that the nicer Logitech controllers have, or things like that. Not that this is not a nice controller. It is nice. But you know, it is what it is. Oh, and I just saw that the helper had a full grain tank, so we're going to go ahead and start the tractor there. We're going to get out and run over to him. I'm actually going to run over to the case. And yes, that is a case 1455 on there. So we'll see how this goes. I'm probably going to have to hook him up to that tipper. That's probably one of the first things we're actually going to be getting, is a newer tipper. This thing's so small, there's so little that you can really put into it, so we will want a new one fairly soon. I don't like these. I really don't like necessarily these small of tractors, because you have that smokestack or the exhaust stack coming right out of it, so it makes it hard to see in first person. But we're going to do everything we can to keep this realistic. So we will stay in first person as much as possible. Even when that comes to like stacking operations or loading and things like that, you know, it's not going to be that fun, but you're going to see me fail miserably. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Such a small trailer. But I mean, I guess this is it's pretty small equipment. It's enough to get you started, but it's not that big. Alright, and there goes the tractor. The harvester, rather, not the tractor. So we're going to go ahead and get this guy out of here. We're going to dump it, and I'm sure it's going to give me that little help icon thing there. So I'm probably going to have to click my mouse or something to get rid of it fairly quickly. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead, pull up, make sure we're good, and dump the trailer. And put as much of that into the silo as possible. Kind of save what we can in the silo. My main goal initially is going to be getting some type of, probably a lawnmower, and I'm going to need a baler, because with that I can get the sheep started. They don't make us that much money. They do make money, but it is just so slow how they make money. So it's something that takes time, unless you can afford to buy 40 or 50 sheep. But just to get the sheep, and then we have to get a trailer. So it is something that there's a lot of startup work we have to do. So we will be with these first few fields for a little bit of time. That's okay. We like the small fields. In another map, I'm sure we'll go into a lot bigger fields, but they will take consistently more time because they're bigger. And I'm not going to put you through everything. I know watching me do the same thing day in, day out is kind of boring, so we will keep it interesting. We'll do some contracting. I'm not opposed to contracting. It is a legitimate way to make money. I know if I was out up north where I used to live and I had all my work done on the farm and I didn't have anything to do, and I knew that there were other farmers that needed work done, I'd be offering my services to them as well, just to make sure everything's getting done and I'm able to make some money on the side. So it's again, not something that's also unrealistic. Now some of their prices for crops, or not necessarily prices for crops, but prices for fields are astronomical. But you know, it is what it is. So we'll probably start off somewhat slow. I could take out a fairly large loan right now. I'm sure I start with the basic level. And then I could take out probably another 150 grand right now, 200 grand, buy a nice tractor and a nicer piece of equipment and go from there. But we're going to save that really for things that we really need. I will probably be taking a loan out fairly soon to get a baler. So we need a baler. I'm not going to get an auto stacker or anything like that. I will probably just get a basic bale trailer. So we'll see how it goes. If you do hear that noise in the background, that's just my wheel sliding around. I've got my SciTech side panels set up here. The buttons, for what they are, it's a fantastic panel. But they are somewhat loud. I would have liked to have seen them just a little bit quieter. They feel kind of plasticky, but again, it's not that they're bad by any means. It's just, it is what it is. You get a lot for your money out of it, and if you truly do love Farming Simulator and you're trying to make the game feel more immersive and more realistic, it is definitely something that's worth the money. At least in my opinion, it's worth the money. A lot of my friends, they've came over, they've seen it, we've played the game, they're like, oh my god, this is amazing, I love that panel. But it's somewhat expensive, I'm not going to lie. But, we'll see how it goes. So we're probably going to keep we're going to finish this field off ourselves. We're going to cultivate this field. Just because it doesn't make sense to try and have a worker fix our massive amounts of my incompetence. I can't drive straight to save my life apparently in this game. So had some waste here, which not really that good. But yeah, you start out with very minimal equipment, and after we get this field cultivated, I'll get the harvester put up, and we will do a tour, a garage tour of what you start out with in Goldcrest Valley. I know plenty of other YouTubers have done this already, but you start out with the basics, the absolute basics. We have a cultivator and a tractor. For that, we have a seeder, just a base model seeder. It doesn't do anything fancy. We have a basic harvester, a very small harvester, a very small trailer, and then we do have our truck. So you start out with a minimum, but it provides a pretty good challenge. It makes you have to somewhat strategize. What do you want to do? Do you want to go for more fields right away? Do you want to go for your animals right away? Or do you want to build your fleet up so that makes everything take that much less time? And I know that's not really how you do it, because this is such a small tractor that doesn't have GPS or anything like this. I would probably never, in the real world, this is not a tractor I'd really consider using for a larger, a decent sized field. This would be more akin to like a tractor that I would use for mowing or hauling things around with. I wouldn't want something that I don't have a GPS in, or I would install a GPS system into it. There are aftermarket GPSs out there, so that I can ensure I get the best productivity out of my fields. So it is something that you can upgrade, and there's aftermarket upgrades for, well, pretty much everything in the world. But hey, if we're starting out, we this could have been a farm that we inherited. We could have just bought the farm, and all the equipment came with it. How we got the farm isn't really explained, so it's kind of up to our imagination how we got it. Now it's up to us to do with it what we want to do with it. It can be as successful or failing as, well, the amount of effort we put into it. So we're going to do everything we can to make this farm a success, obviously. We could have just moved away from the city and done that. Now that said, this is a US map. You do drive on the right hand side of the road. I am from the United States, so I do have a particular affinity for US maps. And that's probably what I'm going to be mainly sticking with. There are some amazing, absolutely amazing maps out there, like Chellington. You have Coldborough Park Farms, Rattlesnake Valley that's being made, and I can't wait for that map to come out. I'm really looking forward to it. The previews I've seen from Something on My Shoe 2, who's the one making Rattlesnake Valley, looks fantastic. I know Daggerwind did I think at least one map tour of that, and the map just looks amazing. It's so big, there's so much detail into it. I'm truly astonished by the amount of work he's done with it. That's something I would love to get in on. I do have a feeling that this machine will not handle it, and obviously I won't do anything without the applicable permissions, because, well, that's just wrong. I don't want to use somebody else's work without their approval. So as far as mods are concerned, that's kind of how it goes here too. It's going to be very slow, because I don't want to bring a mod into my game until I know it's the original author. And if it's not the original author's granted permissions for using that mod or updating that mod or bringing it to FS17 or whatever it is. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I have permissions from whoever whatever mods I am using. So I believe in I believe in honest work. I believe in all not taking credit for anything I haven't done. So any mod I do use, unless it's a mod made and distributed by Giant Simulator, not Giant Simulator, Giant Software, I will have a link in my descriptions for. You'll be able to find where the mods are, and I will make sure I give proper credit due. I don't believe in not doing that. To me, that's kind of a uncouth and really unprofessional. I mean, in the professional world, it is just, it's not something you do. If you did that at my job, where I make my real money, where I make my real living, that affords me the time to be able to make videos, to have a decent PC, you'd be fired in a heartbeat. Copyright violation is a serious thing. If you're a student or something like that, copyright, you don't know what that is. Well, it's the same as it's plagiarism, is what it is. Except you have much more legal results that come out of it. It will get you in a lot of trouble. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in trouble. I like not being in trouble. But two, again, I do this for fun. The reason I started YouTubing, and I mean, I don't have many videos. I do a pretty wide variety of videos, either FPSs or simulators. Those pretty much tend to be all I play. But I do it because it's fun, and I enjoy it. And I decided, well, I enjoy it. Why not? Let's see what happens. I don't ever expect to really be making a bunch of money off it. Yeah, my buddies are wanting me to come out and hang out with them, but I'm harvesting. I like doing this. It's fun. I'll deal with them in a minute. Ooh! I took off there. Not cool. Now, gotta be careful with that cruise control. It can come back to bite you, especially if you have a lower speed set or a lower speed limit than what you're set at once your equipment engages. But while we're here, I'm going to spin around, lower my equipment. It's going to look terrible, but you know, it is what it is. We're a new farmer. We don't really know what we're doing yet, so we'll learn as we go. We'll get better equipment, better things as a result. So it all comes with time. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I like doing it. I really can't wait to get some new equipment on this field, on this map. It will be a lot more fun. It'll be a lot more fun. It'll be a lot more entertaining. I'm going to do what I can to make sure I get multiple brands. There's brands I love. Personally, I absolutely love the John Deeres, but Giants doesn't have John Deeres, at least pre-installed in the game. You can find mods for them, but again, it all comes down to making sure I have the permissions to use that mod. And I don't want to do anything but, you know, if they say, hey, I don't want you to use it on YouTube videos, then that's fine. I won't use it on YouTube videos. I don't mind. Doesn't mean I won't use it on the maps that I play that aren't in videos. I am starting with Goldcrest Valley, mainly because it's a base level. It's a basic map. I know my computer runs it pretty well. Doesn't run it the greatest. I'm not sitting at 60 FPS and being like, oh joy, this looks amazing, and you can see textures for miles, but it does something. Like I said, if you're out there and you do have a older PC, to give you an idea of what I'm actually running, I have a quad-core i5, I think 4th generation i5. It's a 1.6 gigahertz quad core. The graphics card I have is a GeoForce 640M. So I mean, I'm nowhere near the really, I'm not even necessarily near the recommended values of the game, but it works. You know, it does run pretty well. I've, you know, kept the PC clean. I do pretty much almost not quite weekly, but I do monthly cleans on the system, and I almost end up wiping my system out once about every 3 or 4 months. I completely dump everything on my system and not quite start from scratch, but pretty close to starting from scratch. So it is something that I do very often, and it keeps the machine running. It keeps it working. I'm careful with it. I don't beat it up. I don't do anything like that, because that's how they die. Now the new computer I'm going to get is going to make this thing look like it's Windows 3.1 compared to what it is. But you know, that's just the nature of the game. A lot of people get hung up on... Alright, I do have to go third person for this because I can't remember. There it is. Okay, that's my button. A lot of people get hung up on, well, I don't have the newest or the fastest. I can't meet the absolute maximum settings of the game, so I don't necessarily want to play it. And, you know, I mean, there are some games out there that you really do want max settings on, but for the most part, you really don't need it. Don't get me wrong, it's that need versus want. I would love to be able to run every game in the world at, you know, greater than 60 FPS at maximum, for, you know, at max resolutions, at 4K, you know, 4K resolutions, maximum details, you know, everything like that. But a lot of the times there's things that are so small that you don't notice the differences. But hey, again, it is what it is. Everyone has their own thing. I understand the want for always having a better, better and better. I do believe I do prefer desktops over laptops simply because it is so much easier to upgrade and update. And so there's a lot longer lifespan. And for the same amount of money, you almost always get a much, much better system out of it. Now that said, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars on just a monitor. You can spend thousands of dollars on graphics. You can spend an absolutely ridiculous amount of money on pretty much anything you want. But in the end, it all comes down to what you want to do and what you can afford to do. If you can afford to do that, fantastic. If you want to do that, fantastic. I would love to be able to do that, but you can't always do that, unfortunately. Sometimes I wish we lived in a society where money didn't matter and you always get the best and the best of everything, but that's not the real world. So I'm going to go bring our harvester back. We did harvest that field out. I'm going to go ahead and put him up. And that's probably really where we're going to stop for the day. We've got a decent amount done. Well, not really that much done. We harvested one field and cultivated one field, which might not seem like much, but if you're a brand new farmer and you have no idea what you're doing, that's a pretty fair amount of work to get done in one day. We might get the seeder going on that field just to get him going. We'll look and see what we have, and then we'll see what's a decent sell price, and we'll go from there. Park my harvester in here. Go ahead and turn my beacons off. Lower that guy and set him on the ground. Back up just a little bit. Turn the harvester off. Oh wait, did I ever fold the harvester up? Probably not. Oh, I did fold it up. Oh, okay. So we're going to go check out the seeder. See what all we have over there. See if there's anything over there worth planting. I don't really want to do that one as grass. That's one of our bigger fields. There is a lot of grass out here. We have to be willing to get to it. And grass, you can use grass for a lot. You can use it for silage. You can turn it into hay. And you use it for just, well, grass. Get us into first person. Let's see what we got in the fields for prices. I've got a little bit of stuff in here, but looks like soybeans or canola is going to be our best bet because we want something that makes money. So let's see what we can make. So we can do canola and we can do soybean. Which one's going to give us the most? Looks like soybean's going to give us really the most bang for our buck. And we are going to make a worker do this. He'll do it nice and straight with absolutely no wastage. So that will be a good thing. So we're going to let him go off and do his thing. We'll run through this help icon just to get rid of it. We'll see what we have in the silo, and we'll probably go and try and get a little bit of money. Sell at least one load of wheat. It might not be worth the most right now, but we're gonna do what we can. Also, I'm gonna try and make sure I stick to the speed limits instead of just constantly flooring it. Like I said, we are doing realism here. And just because you're a tractor does not mean you don't have to abide by the speed limits. Am I far enough forward? Nope, not yet. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and get a load of wheat, and while that's doing that, let's see where the best wheat sell point is. That's the mill, but I have to be on a train to do that, so we're going to go with the second best, although that is a huge price difference. But we're just gonna do this. We'll go to Mary's farm. We're going to lose a little bit of money on it, but unfortunately, it's not so, well, not unfortunately, but go ahead and stop. If you can't tell, I have played this game a fairly decent amount. I know where pretty much everything is. Don't quite know what the speed limit is here. I think it's 25. Oh, got our beacons. We're on the road, we do want our beacons on. We don't want people to just plow into us. Alright, we will wait for a nice clear path, like so, and we will head off. Hopefully I didn't take those signs out. No, I didn't. Awesome. A little bit of a twitch there. Speed limit does say 50, but it looks like 26 is about how everyone's going, so I ain't gonna knock it too much. We're going to go ahead and get off the road right here. Turn our blinker off. You can tell it's, for what they gave us, that we really don't have that much equipment that's bad. It is pretty decent equipment you start out with. When I first got the game, I played with this equipment for a while until I had a lot of money, and then I sold it all and had almost all mod stuff. But there's a lot out there. Even in the non-mods, there's a massive amount of equipment out there and customizable options out there. So Giants has done a great job keeping a lot of stuff in getting a lot of things in this game. I know if you go on YouTube, you can find showcases for pretty much all the equipment that exists out there. So it's I might do one in the future with my favorite equipment or what we have at the farm or something like that, but if you're looking to see what's actually in the game as far as equipment, there's plenty of showcases out there. Most YouTubers have done it, so it's kind of like beating a dead horse at this point for me. You can do what you want, by all means. So we'll see. What should we do on our next episode, guys? Because I'm going to sell this, and we'll see how it's going there. But what should we work towards? Getting another field, getting bigger equipment, or getting some animals up and getting some animals in? Please let me know in the comments. Take the cover off. Make sure the cover is actually off. And we will empty the trailer. Oh yes, that money is going up really slowly. Wheat, you make a lot of wheat. It's as far as prices are concerned, some of the prices are really high for items, some are really low, but I'm not going to say one's the best to make out of everything, because even though wheat or barley, for example, sell for a very low amount, you get an absolute massive amount of them out of a fully fertilized field. So it's kind of like that, well, yeah, they only sell for $500, but I get twice as much wheat as I do canola that sells for $1,000 liters, or $1,000 per 1,000 liters. So it is that one of those. I can't see. Let this guy go, because hopefully we're clear. Oh, we're going for it. Yep, we're good. So yeah, it is what it is. Now that said, obviously, the when you get stuff that sells for a really, really high amount, it's much easier to make a large amount of money simply because you use less, takes less time just driving from point A to point B, and that in itself can be a big part of this. Not quite sure how I'm going to handle that yet. This episode is pretty much going to be unedited. Really, we're going to go in and introduce everything. But the next episodes, if you guys want me to cut out the driving, or some of the driving, but not all of the driving, please let me know in the comments. Or if you want me to, focus on anything in particular, please, again, let me know. The goal is to keep you guys happy. I like doing pretty much everything in the game, so it really doesn't bother me what I do. I will admit I am absolutely atrocious at logging, so there is that. But here we are, back at our farm. We're going to go ahead and pull in. Make sure we don't take the mailbox out. We do have some fertilizer, some liquid fertilizer, some solid fertilizer. I do have the placeable fertilizer placeable fertilizer stations that Giants has made. I don't know if I'm going to put them into the game. We might just buy the pallets as we can and bring them to and from the shop. Now that said, let's see how much has he done. He's done a fairly decent bit so far. What do we need to get to be able to pick that hay up? We probably should get some type of baler. No, we don't want that. We don't want an auto stacker. As you can see, these mods are all from Giants, so we're good there. You are a baler. Oh. See, again, we're already fighting that. We might have to... we don't have to lease. We will take out a loan. That's not what I wanted to do. There's where I wanted to go. Where are we sitting at on a loan? We already have $75,000 in a loan. Actually what we're going to do, we're going to see how much we can get a loading wagon for. The cheapest loading wagon we can get is, what, $31,000? Okay, yeah, we're going to get the cheapest loading wagon we can, because it's going to allow us to get all of that up. And this tractor is not connected. So we're going to go ahead and take him to the store, and we will have to take out a loan, but that's okay because we're going to be buying a lot of equipment. We're going to take out a loan. Really, not for just enough, because we don't really ever want to go below $10,000. So we'll take out probably another $25,000, and that'll keep us happy as I drive off the road. But once we get that done, we will be good to go, and we'll see how it goes. That's actually probably where we will call this episode. Once we get to that, once we get that back, turn our beacons on. I don't think this tractor has much around. It does have a decent beacon. But even inside, they've done a pretty good job on the inside of the tractor. Now, the tractor is nice and dirty. Eventually, at some point, we're going to need to invest in a pressure washer to clean it. But we need to really focus on getting the basic equipment down first. Once we get the basic equipment, we can start branching out into better and better equipment. I just realized I was driving without my hazards on. I am going under the speed limit, so I might turn those on. you guys want me to come out of first person and go back into like third person view a little bit more often, please, feel free to let me know. Drop it in the comments, and we'll see. If enough people want that, we might go ahead and do that. I personally like driving in first person view. I like seeing the view from inside the tractor. So like I said, we do need to take out a loan. I know it might seem kind of weird for us to be driving up to a bank like that. You can't do it through the menu, or you can do it through right here. Just by going here, it does that. So we'll take out another. Yeah, we'll take out another 25. Bring us up to a nice $100,000 loan amount, if I can remember my buttons. Here, it's going to give us the question mark that says, hey, this is the shop. If you've never been here, this is the shop. You can buy everything straight from the screen. You don't have to come to the shop to buy it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and purchase it. We're going to use it somewhat regularly, so we'll go ahead and buy it. Go ahead and get around here, back up to it, hook it on up, and away we go. So we're going to go ahead and take a different path back to the shop, back to the field. We are clear. A little bit of a swing there. We are going to almost instantly be going left, so I'll go ahead and get over here. As soon as we get past here, I guess I could have waited just a little bit, but that's okay. Even though it says the speed limit's 25 or 50, nobody seems to be doing that, so I guess I'm not too worried about it either. Go ahead and turn left here. Oh, 15. Dial my cruise back a little bit. Guess I probably shouldn't have came this. Okay, now we can do 25. Awesome. I know a lot of guys don't worry about that, but if you're going for realism, you gotta pay attention to the speed limits. It's sometimes as dumb as they seem. It is out there, and there's a reason that they have them out there. So 35 is the speed limit, so floor it, do our massive 26 miles an hour, and we can just go ahead and drive. I guess it wants you to go slow because it's supposed to be a narrow bridge or something like that. Go ahead and turn right here, and we'll turn into the back of our farm. Now that we're on our farm, we can go, as fast as we want to. We're going to go see how that cedar's doing. Don't know exactly how much of it will be done by now. It looks like he's got about half of it done. I do have crop destruction turned on, so that's why you can see the grass getting destroyed. That's why as I go through, you're going to see I just forgot where I was going to go. That's why you're going to see me do pretty much everything I can to not be in the crops, or take a very minimal path through the crops in order to get the job done. But we're going to go ahead and pick this hay up. Not sure where. We'll probably dump it in that storage shed there, just because it is some place to put it. Go ahead and swing a little bit wide. Hopefully I can get that turn. We'll go ahead and clear this field up a little bit, and that way we will be ready to cultivate this field. Hopefully get some more plants built in. It would have been nice to be able to bale all this, but I can't. I don't think justifying the cost of a baler at the moment is really good. 100 grand in debt, and you have old equipment. We need to make some money before we really get into baling, and we can do pretty much everything we need to do with just this forage wagon. It is a very small forage wagon, but it does the job. We're not a really big farm yet. So right now I'm just trying to get the headland stuff off, which it's not really headlands, it's just all the overage from the harvester as it turned down. And give that worker a little bit of time to do his thing. Now that is one thing you will find about Farming Simulator. Any farm you start, you're going to be going to the store an awful lot. Almost every you have to buy pretty much everything initially. Like, we don't have a plow yet, so we do need to get a plow. We also don't have a fertilizer or any way to fertilize, so we do need to get some fertilizer, and that's truly worth it, because every time you fertilize, every fertilizer state that you increase, you get an additional 30% yield out of the crops. So that becomes a huge number. It really does. That's almost 200% crops out of here. It doesn't mean that the harvester is going to stop a lot more, but hey, that's a good thing. And again, in the real world, I know at least in the U.S., a lot of times when they're harvesting, they have the harvester going, and they'll have 1 or 2 trucks right next to it, or they might have 2 harvesters on a field to help, knock everything out. It all depends on the size of the operation. So you have to do things a little bit differently in the game, because I don't have that capability. There is mods like Follow Me, which truly is a fantastic mod. I don't know if I have it installed on this install of the game. I really don't. I probably should get it installed. We're going to go ahead and get my tractor in here. We're going to go ahead and just kind of keep the hay right here. Yep, I got to do it the other way. Dump anywhere is truly a nice feature. That's a lot of hay. That's actually probably enough hay for us for right now. Or straw, rather. So we're gonna gather the rest of this, but we're going to probably just sell it. Really, it's probably our best option. You will notice, like in here, this is where you can kind of see where my graphic settings have been nerfed, because some of that just kind of appears in as we're driving. It does help. So hopefully in about the next month, my new PC, my new laptop at the very least will be here. That should play it no problem, and then probably 3 weeks to 4 weeks after that, I'll have a desktop that's going to put everything, put this game to shame, and I'll be able to run everything at 60 FPS without any frame drops down to like 59, no matter what I'm doing. I make no guarantees, though. It all takes time. So we're actually coming along pretty nicely on this pickup. I saved that straw because we are going to need some straw for the pigs. We're also going to need straw for the cows, and I do intend on getting them, and and I prefer to get them a little bit sooner rather than later. The cows will probably honestly be before the pigs, because cows have that daily income through their milk production, which will offset some of our equipment costs. That way we're not, my goal always with the cows more than anything is just to have them make enough milk every day so that I don't have any equipment running costs, or at least it pays for all the equipment. That gets you in a pretty good spot. I mean, you still got to deal with the hay with them, and the silage, and everything. But you know, you can get almost everything you need for a cow, except the straw, just off grass. We will do some silaging, but that'll be a later episode. You know, it is what it is. Some people out there absolutely love doing silaging. If I had the bigger equipment, oh yeah, it'd be fun. We might actually try doing some silaging with the small equipment just to see what happens. You know, I think it could be interesting to see what happens when you silage with such small equipment. Might not be worth it, but you never know. Probably gonna. Well, maybe it'll all fit. It didn't all fit. We're gonna go ahead and dump all this. We're actually gonna go ahead and sell it. We're gonna sell it right in the barn. We're not gonna make much money off it, but you know, I don't expect us to make that much off this. Go through this help. Go ahead and put our blade back down. And we'll see. Let's go. I guess I don't have that many paths left to pick up. I guess I did get a decent amount of it. That little bit at the end, I might come back for it. It all depends on how we end this run. I'm going to be on that side anyway, so I'm sure I'll pick it up. This is the advantage to having the workers do it for you. While they might not be the smartest out there, they do like to turn in some random spots, or just randomly stop halfway through the field and then turn around. Haven't quite figured out why they do that. I've noticed they tend to only do that in like some of the mod maps that are out there, and there are lots of mod maps out there. That is one thing that is fantastic about this game, is the modding community. And those guys put so many of them put so much work into what they do, and they do it because they love it. And you know, they really do deserve credit for what they do. That's how they survive. A lot of them, they do it because they like it. As I hit the tractor wall. Oh, did I just get stuck? Alright, there we go. You know, they do it because they love it, and to be able to showcase some of what they do, to be able to just play to be able to just play this game and have fun with it, all because of how much they do for it. It truly is awesome. And I mean, a lot of people, including myself, don't realize just how much goes into it sometimes. And I just did what I didn't want to do, which is teleport. Well, he's coming along pretty good. We're going to get him turned around, and then we will save the game, and that will be it for today. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you guys want me to do anything in particular next episode, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now we'll let this guy turn around just a little bit more. Get him started, that way I have a good return point for him. Oh, listen to that tractor. So he's going to go ahead and start. We're going to fire him right there. Save the game. Alright, thank you all for watching, and have a great day. Goodbye.